Good morning, good afternoon. Quickly, let's go ahead and open up some presents. Do I have any presents to open? Apparently I have 5. Here we go, last present of Winterfest 2025. Alright, cool. Alright, let's land far away. Nice. Alright, so today's video, I wanted to do something a little different, and I wanted to talk about my first job. So, people that know me in real life, they might think this video might be a little cringe or whatnot, but it's something that's been on my mind for a long time recently. I think kind of a lot. It's been on my mind too much. Like, I feel like it shouldn't affect me to this point, but it has. And I think it's because I worked there for a very long time. So I worked at this pizza place, right? And my job was to, wrap all the food, make sure all the food makes it in the bag and it gets to the customer, right? So it sounds like a very easy, straightforward job. Anyone can do it. So there is a lot to that job that entailed. So, like, you would have to put like certain stuff with other food. Like, there'd be like different kinds of food. There'd be appetizers, there'd be dinners, there'd be grinders, and each thing would have to come with another thing. So like, if you're getting like chicken tenders, you're gonna need to know, okay, it comes with barbecue sauce because that's what people get with their tenders. Or like, like if I had a dinner, it'd have to come with the side of like a small salad, and it would also have to come with dressing, and then these little things we called garlic knots. So all of the stuff on the menu would have to come with so many different little things. It just made the job so, like, honestly, it became really overwhelming over a long time, because over the last like 3 months, it kept getting busier and busier every weekend up until, the holiday season. And last week I got told to go home. And it's kind of funny, low-key, because I did my part correctly, and I've been working there for 3 years, 6 months, and probably over that by this point. I don't even know or really care to even see or calculate, right? But it was my first job, and I met a lot of cool people there. But I felt that I needed to make a change in my life, and I think that I didn't really get fired, but more as the owner just wanted to kind of have that little upper hand on me, because I told him it was my last day, and then not even 2 hours later he told me to go home. So shout out to you. I hope you live a very not an exciting life. And yeah, so I don't want to wish anyone very bad stuff, right? But this guy was just completely oblivious to where his business was sort of going in. And it kind of became a thing where I was working for minimum wage where I live, which is a fairly okay amount, right? And especially as a high school student, which I was when I started this job, that was some really good money, man. Like, I was taking home like $200 a weekend. But as you get older, $200 a weekend, you kind of find out, is almost nothing. You know what I mean? And when you're working 4 hours from 4 to 8ish to 9ish o'clock, it becomes not worth it. And I've kind of realized that over time, and I really tried to find another job to plan ahead of my termination, I guess. But I guess it didn't work out, and honestly, I don't even care. Like, I told myself that I would stay at this place I worked at until I found another job lined up. However, I said that in September, and it took 3 months, and I said, no matter what, by the end of the year, I quit. Like, to myself, I was like, I cannot put up with this job anymore. But I stuck it out for 3 long months, and every weekend, keep in mind, it got worse. Every weekend it got faster, it got busier. And I remember there was one weekend, I think it was about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. The owner and I got into a small little argument. I've never gotten into an argument with this guy, but he's not like a cool, calm-headed person. This is someone that like basically everyone at the restaurant, you know, kind of feared, and I just didn't care to fear another man. I just like, bro, there are grown men in there like, yes sir, or I would just put up with that bullshit just because like I don't want to get fired, low-key. But it took me such a long time to realize that the money there wasn't great, and once I realized that, I just felt like quitting immediately, and I couldn't quit because I was stuck there. And when you get stuck at a job, it is probably the worst feeling in the whole world, because you come home miserable, you come home sore, you come home not wanting to do anything after your shift. And that was the worst thing about it, was that my time management for things like YouTube, things like coding, things I'm passionate about, I had no time for. Even with a job that was 4 hours long, it felt like 10. And I'm not someone who's lazy. Like, don't think I'm some lazy person who doesn't like to work. I'll work anywhere for the right money, you know? But that was just not the right money, and at this point in time, it just felt like way too much work to do, and I'm so happy that I kind of like left. I say kind of because I really don't know if I got terminated or if I got, you know, he told me to go home. And so I was like, all right, goodbye, whatever. I don't care. I'm not coming back. I was going to come back that weekend to try to help him out. I trained two different people. The first week I said I put in my 2 weeks. And the second week I trained another person. And then that third week, which was like, you know, the second week technically. But that third weekend when I came in, that was that Friday I came in. And I told him, you know, I trained 4 people, and he gave me like a little, like a thing that like a little kid would do. Like, he gave me like a very big expressioned sigh, and like his eyes rolled back. He's like, ugh, and he just walked away from me. And I'm like, what the hell? Like, bro, this guy's a grown man, you know, groaning at me about me wanting to move on. He didn't even really respond to me like in appreciation of anything. And in retrospect, I hope you guys can learn a little bit of something if you're stuck in a crappy situation with where you're working. If you have even a little bit of freedom, you have your parents' basement to go move into, like say you're like 30 plus and you're stuck working at ShopRite, you know, or just McDonald's, for God forbid. Oh. Damn. Should not have been that close. But yeah, I hope you guys take this as a lesson to not really think you owe any place anywhere. I worked there for 3 years, 6 months, and the owner of the place did not give a flying F once I quit. And I tried staying because where I worked, if I left, and I felt like if I left, that I would be letting a lot of people down, like work-wise. And even though it was only a minimum wage job, I still felt like I owed people stuff, because, you know, I'd get like free pizza or whatever at the end of the night. And over time, you know, it comes up to be a lot of food, you know. And so I just tried to stick through it. I tried helping out people whenever I could, all the time for the last multitude of years, and it felt like it was all for nothing. It felt like no one cared. It felt like all my work and everything was just for nothing. It felt like I did nothing at that place too, because at the end of the day, who really needs someone who just wraps food all day? And at my place, that was one of the most important jobs because no one knew how to do it. I was probably the only person who knew how to do it outside of management and the chefs. And that's it. I was the only one who knew how to properly put the food in the bag, put the fries in the bag, bro. But yeah, I learned a lot, and it's that to never ever think you owe anything to any sort of job, because in reality you don't. And I'm only 19, and I'm happy I realize this now and not later in my life. I don't want to get stuck at some crappy job in the future. Like, there's so many good jobs out there that you don't realize. Like, if you go into like IT or something, like, you can get paid to like just, you know, fix computers, you know, maybe run some cables. I'm not saying these jobs are easy either, but you know, every job is hard in their own way. But you can pick a job that's hard in that specific way, but because you know how to do it, it's an easy job. And I don't like, there's so many hard jobs out there that pay terribly, like especially like something like McDonald's. Like, why would you want to go work at McDonald's, bro? Because it's not worth it. You got to deal with so many customers. If like higher ups in the company come in and they give you slack, you know, for how fast you're doing your job or whatever, it just becomes crazy. And that's how it kind of was even at my job. Like, it wasn't full on McDonald's work, but it was pretty darn close. Like, any McDonald's people out there, you have some major props from me, because I could never work there low-key. That job is so difficult. I'm not saying it's difficult in like skill, but more as in like just work effort, because you got to put a lot of work effort into any restaurant. So that's kind of a funny win. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I didn't expect it to end that soon. And I hope you guys enjoyed my yapping. And yeah, just moral of the story is never stay at any job that doesn't deserve you. And to follow, you know, follow your YouTube, follow your own stuff, because in the end, when you die and you have to look back at your life, you don't want to look back at it being like, man, I wish I did more, or I wish I did something else. So quit your job and find a better one, because you don't gotta work in that shit forever. Take care, guys. Especially to the little kids out there. This is just like going into your first job, so be careful out there. Take care and peace out.